Corey? Want to play? Come on, Corey, play. How can I play games when I've got such a big problem? How do you know it's a problem? Teachers don't send notes home to mothers unless kids do something they're not supposed to. What did you do? I don't know. That's my problem. Maybe Mrs. Schaefer made a mistake. Teachers don't make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. I wish I could remember the one I made. I'm sure in trouble, old J. Wagadorn. We better go tell my mom we're home before I'm in trouble, too. Ah! Earl! Too late. I'm in trouble. He didn't mean it, Mrs. Wagadorn.
I know, Corey. I'm all right. Just a little startled.
You mean you're not mad at me?
Of course not. Everybody makes mistakes.
See, told ya.
Now come inside, both of you.
Well, hi there.
Hello, Mom.
You doing your homework?
Yeah?
That's a good boy. Anything new happened at school today?
Yeah.
Well, aren't you going to tell me about it?
I'm not gonna like it.
Oh?
If you don't want me to tell you, I don't have to.
I have a feeling you'd better.
We could wait till later.
Maybe we better get it over with now, Corey. What happened?
It's from my teacher.
Oh, no, not another one. All right, let's see what she has to say. She wants me to go see your principal.
Mrs. Blake?
Yes. Corey, what did you do this time?
I don't know. I didn't do anything.
All right, young man, I'm going to see you tomorrow. And for your sake, I hope you are right.
I'm so glad you could come, Mrs. Baker. Please be seated. I know this is something of an imposition.
Well, I assumed it was important enough to take some time off, Mrs. Blake.
It is very important. Mrs. Baker, we've recently given all our children intelligence tests.
I know, Corey told me.
Good. And now, of course, most parents are sure their children are brilliant.
Well, that's normal, I suppose.
And as a normal mother, you probably feel the same way, hmm?
I know he's not a genius, but I do think he's bright, of course.
Mrs. Baker, that's where you're wrong. We've just received the results of those tests. And according to our computer, Corey is a genius.
Would you mind repeating that last outrageous statement?
My son is a genius.
Your son, Corey.
He's the only son I have.
What happened at school today, fellas?
Nothing.
Sometimes I wonder why you bother to go.
'Cause you make me.
That's true. But about this nothing you do all day, didn't you tell me once you were taking intelligence tests?
We finished those Monday.
How'd you do?
I think maybe I flunked.
How can anybody flunk an intelligence test?
By being stupid.
His principal wants me to send him to the Granville School.
I never heard of it.
Oh, it's a special school for gifted children. According to her, they won't even look at a child if his IQ is under 140.
Sounds like a good idea.
You know, I'm not sure it's the right thing to do.
Why not? Too expensive?
Well, that for one thing, but that's not the most important thing. What I'm concerned about is uprooting him. You see, Granville is a boarding school, and I'd only see him on weekends, and all his friends are here.
Baker, that's a cop-out. What you mean is you'd miss him.
Oh, of course I will, but... Oh, you think that's the real reason I'm doubtful, huh?
Certainly. Now, you send him to that school no matter how much you miss him.
Oh, well, I'll have to think about it.
And from now on, Baker, You'll have to solve your own problems. I probably won't be around to do it for you.
Where are you going?
Well, I'll probably be going back on active duty with the Navy.
When did they call you?
Oh, they haven't called me yet. But, you see, they called Tom Pedley. I was on a hospital ship with him. He was an eye specialist. And he tells me they called Harry Clark back, too. Harry was a plastic surgeon. He was on the same ship, and they're both my age.
Oh, but how does that affect you?
Well, don't you see? The three of us acted as a team, and I was head man. I've simply got to be called next.
But you're not sure.
Oh, stop sounding like my wife and get going. When my orders come here, I want the decks cleared for action.
Aye, aye, sir.
And she winds up with a genius.
Oh, I better get going. It's time to start dinner.
Think about what I said. A little exploitation never hurt anybody.
Oh.
I'll have my milk in a minute, Mom. I forgot to get something.
Well, don't be long, son.
It's open!
Woo! Oh, well, good morning, Marie.
How's the genius?
Oh, shh, please, Marie. Things are tough enough.
Sorry. Did you talk to him about the school?
Not yet, but I don't think he's going to be too wild about the idea.
I wish somebody'd give me a chance to leave home for a while. I'd grab it.
You know, I'll bet what he'd mind most of all would be leaving Earl.
If Earl could go with him, I wouldn't mind staying home.
You want some coffee?
No, thanks. I came up to show you something. Every day, 4 game shows in a row, 5 times a week, giving away goodies like you wouldn't believe.
Marie.
Turn the KID loose for a couple of hours and you can buy your own school.
Marie Wagadorn, will you stop? I am not going to put Corey on exhibition.
Oh, what's the use?
Hi, Mrs. Wagadorn.
Hi, Quiz Kid. See you later. If he were mine for 48 hours.
What did she mean, Mom?
Nothing, darling. Just finish your milk. Corey, do you like school?
It's okay.
I mean, do you enjoy it?
I like baseball better.
I'm sure you do, darling, but what I'm getting at is, do you ever get bored in school?
Oh, sure.
Well, suppose you were going to another school.
Are we gonna move?
No, of course not. But suppose you were going to a school where the work was a little more challenging.
Does that mean harder?
Well, yes.
This school's hard enough.
Ah, but suppose you were going to a school where it was a great honor to go, and they wanted you. Now, wouldn't that make you feel good?
Can Earl J. Wagadorn go too?
No, I'm afraid not.
How come?
Because that school only takes children whose potential shows that they may possibly turn out to have superior mental qualities. Do you understand?
Not all of it.
Well, which part didn't you understand?
None of it.
Well, the important thing, Corey, is that Earl can't go with you.
Earl J. Wagadorn's my best friend, Mom, and if they don't want him, then I don't want to go either.
I know he's bright, honey, but I wouldn't call him a genius.
Well, what would you call an IQ of 160?
Very high. That's what I find hard to believe.
And just why is it so hard to believe that my son can be brilliant?
Hey, now wait a minute.
Is it easy to think of him as a cretin?
Julia, cut that out. I said he's bright. Now tell the truth. Can you think of him as a genius?
It does come as a shock at first. You just have to get used to it.
Go on, finish dressing. Are you going to send him to Granville?
Mrs. Blake feels it would be a terrible waste of his talent not to send him there.
I suppose she's right. He's only being slowed down by ordinary kids.
Are you being sarcastic?
Of course not. Will you quit being so touchy and get ready?
Well, it's not an easy decision to make.
All I meant was Granville would take him along faster so he won't get bored with learning.
I want to do what's best for him, but it's going to be awfully lonely around here without him.
And you can't go with him because it'd be lonely around here without you.
Well, there is that, too. Besides, I can't leave that job. We're going to be able to afford Granville.
Well, I can't tell you how glad I am that Kim is a nice, sweet, ordinary little dumbbell.
You're counting your chickens a little early. Kim's only 4. Soon you'll have a whole new set of problems you have to face.
Maybe. But by that time, I figure on having a woman around the house to help me solve them.
Oh. You do you?
And if that woman has a son who's a genius, I can just sit back and let them solve my problems for me.
Well, you're quite a little chicken counter. Let's go before this gets any more involved and I starve to death.
Oh, Baker, my wife isn't back from her sister's yet, so would you send these out to be cleaned?
Oh, certainly. You haven't worn these since you retired, have you, Doctor?
No, why?
Well, maybe you should try them on first.
Why? I know what they look like. Oh, I get it. Well, for your information, I am in exactly the same shape as I was when I retired from the Navy. I am a doctor. I know the value of taking care of the human body. And I take care of mine. I shrank it.
Is there any chance you might have put on a few pounds, Doctor?
Oh, don't be ridiculous. This is a result of some dry cleaner's incompetence, shoddy workmanship, or even possibly inferior wartime material. Here,
Oh, yes, sir.
take that out.
What would you like me to do with them?
I don't know. Give them away. Throw them away. Just get them out of my sight.
Oh, I know. I'll give them to Eddie Edson. Sundays, he loves to go rowing on the Park Lake.
Very funny. Yeah, we can put a man on the moon. We can build a plane that's faster than sound. But we can't keep clothes from shrinking. Clinic Commander Chegley. Dr. Chegley. Oh, no, she's gone out for a short while. Can I take a message? Mrs. Blake, huh? Yes. Yes, I'll be sure to tell her that. Bye-bye. Oh, Baker.
All taken care of, sir.
Say, Mrs. Blake just called you.
Corey's principal?
Yeah, she wants to see you tonight if you're going to be home.
Ah, well, thank you, sir.
Oh, wait. Let's make a list of the things that I have to do. Now, first of all, clear me completely for tomorrow. See, Dr. Kett is going to take over when I'm away, and I want to show him the ropes. And remind me to call my tailor about new uniforms. Oh, and Baker, let me warn you, no going away parties for me.
All right.
I mean it.
Well, I won't.
After all, I'm not a teenage draftee, you know.
No, sir.
Unless it's that important to you, in which case we can invite a few people in for a drink, but that's all.
But if it's going to bother you, Doctor,
No.
we can skip the whole...
No, it's not that. Just don't let it get out of hand. How many people do you think you'll invite?
1 or 2?
1 or 2?
You said you didn't want to make a big thing out of it.
Well, that's right, but, well, there's no sense in making people feel left out.
You're right. And as long as I know how you feel, I'll make sure nobody's feelings are hurt.
Good girl. Just remember, I don't want any fuss made over me. Just embarrasses me to be lionized.
Didn't she say what she wanted to talk about?
No, by the time I got around to calling her, she'd gone.
Well, when it comes to genius, you've got to expect the unexpected.
Oh, you still don't believe he is, do you, Steve Bruce?
Now, Julia, let's not start that again.
Mom, the principal's here. I found her downstairs.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Blake?
Good evening, Mrs. Baker. I'm sorry to bother you this late.
Oh, it's perfectly all right. I don't think you know Mr. Bruce, Mrs. Blake.
Hello.
Evening.
Won't you please sit down?
No, thanks. I won't be a minute.
Why don't you go play with Earl, Corey?
Mrs. Blake came to talk about me, didn't she?
Mm-hmm, I imagine she did.
I think I'll stay here.
I think you'll go, mister. Out. Oh, this being a genius really has its drawbacks. I'm trying not to let it give him a swelled head.
I don't think there's much danger of that anymore.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, Mrs. Baker, I don't quite know how to say this. I mean, he's really the same little boy, isn't he?
Mrs. Blake.
After all, you yourself said genius does have its drawbacks.
What are you trying to tell me?
Corey isn't a genius after all. The computer made a mistake. It turns out he's just a little above average. I hope you're not too disappointed.
Oh, no. And I want to thank you for being so thoughtful, Mrs. Blake.
Well, I think I'd better go now. Goodbye, Mrs. Baker.
Goodbye.
Mr. Bruce.
Good night.
Good night. Once.
Once what?
If you say just once, I told you so, I will strangle you.
Yeah, but you remember when I said that?
I remember everything you said. You know, I'm so relieved that Corey isn't going to Granville. He and Earl would have been broken-hearted.
Mm-hmm. And you would have been broke.
I want my money back. You can't. I spent it.
What's going on, man?
I paid Corey a nickel to do my homework.
Corey, did you take money from Earl?
Sure, I'm a genius. Yeah, but you got it all wrong. Well, sometimes geniuses make mistakes.
Now, you listen to me, young man. In the first place, you don't take money from friends. And secondly, you're not a genius any longer. That whole thing was a mistake.
It was?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean I don't have to go to that special school?
That's right.
Oh, boy! You know what? For that, I'll do your homework for nothing. Yeah, but you get it all wrong. What difference does that make? I'm still not going to charge you. Oh, that's different.
Do you believe those two?
I tell you one thing I'm beginning to believe. With that kind of thinking, Corey must be a genius.
It's an Admiral Healy from Washington.
Hello. Yes, this is Dr. Chegley. This is it. Hello, Ed. How are you?
Just fine, Mort, just fine, and I hope you are too.
Oh, shipshape?
Good. Do you think you could spare the Navy some time?
Oh, I'm way ahead of you, Admiral. I've already made an appointment for new uniforms.
New uniforms? Mort, you sound like you expect to be called back on active duty.
Right.
Now, all we want is for you to give a 3-day seminar on combat medicine. Now, you don't have to take any time off. These are night sessions at UCLA. What do you say?
Ed, you mean I'm not going back on active duty?
Of course not.
Then you won't be my superior officer, right?
What are you talking about? Mort, you're a civilian.
Well, in that case, this civilian would like to tell you what he thinks about you. You are an incompetent, overage, miserable excuse for an admiral in what used to be our gallant Navy. You ersatz ensign, you. And while I'm on the subject, there are a couple of other things I'd like to tell you that I've saved up for the past 25 years. You constantly manage to out-cheat me at golf.